Thank you very much, Mr. McDonald. Thank you very much for the conversation we've had. I'd like to use my opening statement as an opportunity to talk about a slightly different topic, although related to VA, and I'll use my time when I get to question you to try to highlight some things that I want to hear your response to. But, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to encourage you and Senator Burr, as well as Congressman Michaud and Chairman Miller, to make certain that before we depart, that we have a report, a conference committee report on the Veterans Choice Act. While I certainly believe that a new secretary was necessary, I indicated at the time that I asked for the previous secretary's resignation that in and of itself would be insufficient. And it seems to me that the Senate and the House have acted in a responsible way in coming up with a plan that addresses the challenges that our veterans are facing today in lack of access and in waiting times, and it would be terrible on the part of the United States Senate, the U.S. House of Representatives, if we fail to reach an agreement to conclude this work. I spoke on the Senate floor prior to the passage of that legislation, which passed 93 to nothing, indicated how it is so disturbing to me to come to the United States Senate. I'm in my first term, and we do nothing to solve the problems of the American people because the Senate does not function. We don't have bills on the Senate floor. We don't offer amendments. Committees don't do their work. There's not oversight. And if we can't come together on an issue related to veterans, this of all issues that we face at this point in time in the United States Senate ought to be one that we can resolve, and the failure to do so would be terrible for the United States Senate, but more importantly, terrible for the veterans of our country. And one more time, remind the American people how dysfunctional the United States Senate is today. And so what troubles me at the moment is the announcement yesterday by the Majority Leader that he believes it's unlikely that we're going to resolve our differences and have a vote on a conference committee. And we ought not let that be the case, and we ought not adjourn for an August recess in the absence of us reaching a conclusion. Don't walk away from this issue. The leadership of the Senate, the leadership of this committee, individual members of this committee, individual members of the Senate, it's our responsibility to see that we accomplish the task we set out for and in benefit of the veterans of the United States of America. While it's been easy to criticize the Department of Veterans Affairs for their failure to our veterans, if we don't reach a conclusion on this legislation, the United States Senate is deserving of that same condemnation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.